Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And when T-Mobile presented this slideshow at the Investors Day, it sparked up a lot of rumors, speculation, and just a lot of talk around the additional capacity section on this slide. Right? They're going to have what they call flexible spending of $20 billion. And a lot of people are already out there speculating, merger and acquisition, which is what opportunistic value creation investments, that's what that really means, right? Merger and acquisition. So now a lot of people are speculating, is it cable that they might go after, right? Spectrum, Charter. I highly doubt that. That's a lot of debt that they would have to take on. So I don't think they go that route. I think that's the chances of that happening probably below 1%, in my opinion. But there are other players out there that T-Mobile will very likely be interested in, at least have a conversation, right? It may never make it public. It may stay behind the scenes, but there's going to be several players that they will have conversation with, at least behind the scenes. Now, you might ask, and others are going to talk about, talk and discuss, like, who would those players be? And outside of US Cellular, in my opinion, at least as it pertains to wireless, I don't see any other wireless players that might be as attractive to T-Mobile as it comes to merger and acquisition. So I think I'm very confident that they are done with M&A on the wireless side after US Cellular. There's really no one else that they would need at that point. They wouldn't need C-Spire. They could overbuild that footprint. Viaero, they could overbuild that footprint. They've done it in Nebraska. They have a good amount of Nebraska now built out natively. So they wouldn't need any other players. But I think in the JV, the fiber space, I think they remain active there when it comes to merger and acquisition. I think they remain active, and it just really depends what kind of path they want to go on. They could use that $20 billion and delever even more, right? Use that and then go bigger on debt and buy a Lumen. That's very possible. But I think they want to stick to a pure fiber strategy. The copper play is tough. It's tough. It will require a higher capital investment, and T-Mobile wants to remain at that $9.5 billion through 2027. So that really tells you all you need to know. Right? If you get Spectrum Charter, you have to upgrade all of that copper, all of that DOCSIS. You have to upgrade it to fiber. And that's a massive investment in itself. Besides anything else that you have to integrate, you have to, a lot of moving parts. Just upgrading the copper to fiber is going to be a huge investment. That's going to require a ton of money from T-Mobile that they really have no experience in. So I'm very confident in that they stay with the pure wireless fiber, with the pure fiber play, and they get into partnerships with the companies that are striving and moving towards an all fiber play. Cable is still heavily copper, right? Invested in copper, and yes, some of them might be moving over to fiber, but it's gonna be an uphill battle even for cable to get from copper to fiber. So Frontier was probably the exception, not the rule, right? They had well over 50% of their footprint moved over to fiber, which was a very smart investment, and Verizon is rewarding that investment by buying them for $20 billion. But there are still other players like Comcast, Charter, some other ones, Cox. They have a large part of their footprint still to cover as it comes to upgrading from copper to fiber. So I just wanted to talk about that this morning. That $20 billion of flexible spending is being discussed. I've seen some reports behind the scenes and a lot of speculations around cable. I'm going to shut that down for us here on the channel. I just don't see that happening. Charter has about $98 billion in debt. That would bring T-Mobile's balance sheet in terms of debt. It would bring them well above where Verizon and AT&T are today. I mean, their leverage would be like well over a 3, maybe closer to 4%. That would just blow up their entire strategy. Their stock their stock price would crash. It would be a bad idea, in my opinion. No matter how they present it to the market, it would be a bad idea. It would require heavy capital investment, at least 3 to 5 years. And then they would have to probably, deleverage that debt that they would take on their balance sheet. And it's just going to require way too much funding, stress, learning. I just don't see them doing that. But Illumin, I think they can do Illumin. I think that would be something that they would consider, at least, even if it never happened, never made public. I think they would at least consider Illumin if they decided to go that route. But if they stayed with the open access, there's plenty of other JV players that they could get in partnerships with, and the current ones that they have already signed partnerships with, they can further invest into them. They could give them, here's $3 billion more, expand into these areas. They could strike those types of deals as well. So either way it goes, they could reach more homes passed with whatever strategy they choose. If they buy more JV players, right, they can go from 15 homes to 20 million homes. But they could also get there by further investing into Metronet, Lumos, and then the other wholesale players that they're partnering with today. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe if you're new. Follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Live. See y'all in the next one. Peace.